What's going on, everybody? It is Big L here, and today I have something a little bit different for you guys. I'm just going to call it a mid-season breakdown. We're halfway through the season, and I was trying to think of a way to maybe make a little bit more content, get something a little bit different out there. And if you like this, let me know what you think about it. I might do something, whenever it gets closer to playoffs, like kind of like a playoff picture kind of deal. I just thought maybe this would be a good way to get an extra video out there. Sorry if this feels a little bit rushed. I recorded a version of this last weekend, but the doc has since been updated. And I believe I say a bunch of times in that video, oh, well, I think this person's record is actually this. I think this person's record is actually this. But the doc has been updated, so I figured it would make sense to just go ahead and make a different video altogether. So I'm just going to be looking at things like the standings, where people are, how the divisions are shaping up, how maybe the playoff picture's shaping up a little bit. I know it's only halfway into the season, but you can still get a sense of, what the playoff picture kind of looks like. And then we're going to look at my team, and we're going to see, things that I've liked about it so far, things I haven't really liked about it maybe, and how the team overall is performing. So hopping right into it, we'll hop over to the doc and make sure this looks all right. Yep. And first off, we're going to look at our division, which is the Alakazam division in the Brains Conference. And looking at it, we have kind of separated ourselves a little bit, going 3-0 the last 3 weeks at 5-1. And then Coach B Real and Coach Duck of the Atlanta Beagles and Rochester Reboot, respectively, tied at 3-3, and then Bucks of the Bronx Blastoise at 1-5. He got his first win last week, which is nice. So looking at this, we are obviously looking like we're in pretty good shape going forward. B has kind of had a rough go of it the last few weeks. He's played a tough schedule the last 3 weeks. And Duck, I believe he started 1-2, and so now he's 3-3. He's been playing really, really well lately. Getting right back into it, and it's good to see Bucks get that win last week. He's got a scary team. He just hasn't been able to put it together yet. But if he gets that team going, it could be really scary, and he could maybe make a late playoff push, or even spoil playoffs run for somebody. Who knows? He'll still be someone you have to look out for late in the season, just because of how scary that team can be. We've got to play him late, so hopefully by then we've either clinched where we're going to be in playoffs and we don't have to win that game, because he does have a scary team. And looking down there at the Metagross division, Big Shane, unfortunately, he was swamped last week, so he didn't really have a chance to get his Week 6 game played yet. So that one is missing. That's a missing battle. But Pardus and the Vegas Gold Magnemites at 3-3, and ASDF, coach of the Sydney Thunder, is at 4-2, and then Mario B of the Happy Play Howard Ramos, he's won 2 in a row, and he made a few changes to his team, and I know he's looking a bit more optimistic. He's been saying in the chat that he really wants to make a playoff push, and that division is super scary. All 4 of those teams are terrifying, if you ask me. And since they all have to play each other again, I could still see any 4 of those teams winning that division. It's just that good. And but Big Shane can kind of give himself a little bit of a lead if he can pull out a win that Week 6 match against Nolan, which that was the Week 6 match of the week. But unfortunately, like I said, Big Shane has been really swamped lately, so they weren't able to get that in yet. I think they're playing in the next day or so. So scrolling down to the Bronze Conference, we've got the Machamp division, where Coach T4U and his Boston Red Sox are really, really far out ahead. He's 5-1. You got the Russia No Retreat. They haven't been able to pull out a win just yet. I think they will, though. They've got a pretty decent team. So we should see them pull out a win or two the second half of the season. Coach Zelda, the Warsaw Rapidash, again, they'll pull out a few more wins. I don't think T4U's got this division locked up just yet, and And of course, Mitty, the Collingwood Corviknight, who we played last week, his team is super scary, and he's just had a really rough go of it because he's had a really, really rough schedule. It wouldn't surprise me a bit to see him turn it around and really make a playoff push. And then we go down to the Buzzwool division. We've got Coach Lucky and the Minnesota Lycanrocks at 5-1, and then you've got Nolan SR. Pretty sure I'm saying that right, of the Wooloo Mooloo Wooloos. Try saying that 10 times fast. And that's, of course, the other battle that's missing, his battle with Big Shane. And then the Route 2 Rattatas at 2-4, and the Ballinley Briones at 1-5. You can see that the top kind of has a hammerlock on this division right now between Lucky and Nolan. But and I don't think I haven't played Route 2. I don't think I even play him. So I haven't done any prep for him. I haven't really looked at his team much, but I know Ballinley, he has a pretty scary team. We're getting ready to play him this week, and he made a few transactions that made his skiing team even scarier. And it wouldn't surprise me to see him pick up 3 or 4 more wins and really put himself up there. Try to get a backdoor playoff spot. But that's kind of the divisions right now, how they stand. We can scroll over here to the MVP leaderboard, which I was thinking about not doing it, but I think Lucky might kill me in the chat if I didn't mention that he has a plus 13 KDR Suicune. That's kind of been the talk of the chat lately, is his Suicune. Brought that great scarf set last week, which is fantastic. And then at number 2 with the plus 8 spot, Big Shane's Excadrill at plus 8. And again, he's missing a week, and to still have him on at plus 8, second place in the kill leaderboard this late in the season. I mean, without halfway through the season and you're missing a week, that's really impressive. And then T4U with Moltres, heavy duty boots was such a great item for that Pokemon to be able to give it longevity, not have to worry about taking 50% from rocks. And he brought a really cool scarf set, I believe it was last week as well, on that Moltres. So great coaches doing great things with good mons. You always love to see it. Unfortunately, we don't have anything right now in the top 3, but we've got Megalopony's kind of right outside it, I believe, and but Megalopony hasn't gotten a kill for 2 weeks, so we'll see how that shakes out. Hopefully we can get Megalopony up in there by the end of the season. So we'll go down over here and we'll look at our team. Make sure this looks all right real quick. And this is our team. I might want to zoom in a little bit. How's that look? That looks better. Okay. So Megalopony through 6 weeks, 8-1. And like I said, Megalopony hasn't gotten a kill for 2 weeks. So we were 8-1 with Megalopony through 4 weeks. And I have loved using this Pokemon. It's so cool. It's so fun to prep with, even because you just see all the things that it can do in prep, all the work it can put in. It's just fantastic to see whenever you're prepping with a Pokemon and you look at another person's team and you just see, oh, this gets 2-hit KO'd by it. Oh, this gets 2-hit KO'd by it. It's really cool to see just an offensive powerhouse. And things like U-turn, being able to use it to get a fast pivot off and just get a nice little chunk of damage has been so fun. I'm really, really happy this Mon fell to us in the first round, because I wasn't even considering it. I wasn't even looking at it in the first round. Like I said in the draft recap, our plan originally was to draft around Heatran, Rotom Wash. But whenever Lopunny fell, we couldn't pass up on it. And so we've loved using Megalopony. Megalopony has been a fantastic bond to use, and I've absolutely loved it. Next up is Heatran. Heatran's 3-2 with plus 1 KD. I've only brought it 3 times. I feel like when I have brought it, it's done the job that it was supposed to do. I haven't brought it as much as I thought I would. Whenever I drafted it, I thought, you know what? This is going to be a mon that I feel like I can bring every single week and love using it. Just one second, I'm going to take a drink real quick. But unfortunately, that hasn't been the case. It doesn't help that we've played a lot of really good ground types. So far this season, we've played Mega Swampert in Rain, both Landeruses. No, we're about to play a Lander. Landorus is week 7. Both Nidos, and I believe regular Swampert, but it didn't come. So we've played 4 really, really strong ground types. And whenever you're playing against 4 really strong ground types with a mon that is quad weak to ground, it makes it kind of hard to bring it. So hopefully on the back end of the season, we'll have more use for Heatran. We'll have a little bit more favorable matchups for it. Next up is Volcarona. Volcarona, 3 kills, 0 deaths, but I've only brought it to 1 game. It just seems like every matchup that I consider bringing it, I always find like 2 or 3 mons that I think to myself, oh, I can't 2-hit KO this, and it gets a rock move. So I can't really leave it in. I want to bring it more. It's a Pokemon that I do calcs with it every week. Because I think, oh, maybe Volcarona could be good for this mon, and this mon on their team. And whenever I do calcs with it, it just, I don't know. I just seem like I seem underwhelmed with it. I've been considering dropping it. I've been flirting with the idea of dropping it. But every time I consider either dropping it in one of my tier 5s to pick up like a tier 2 and tier 3, or just dropping it and picking up another tier 1, I feel like it makes my team worse. But, I'm still, mulling the idea over. We have a few more weeks to make roster changes. So, we'll see what happens. It's a good Pokemon, and I've never used it before. I was really looking forward to using it. I just don't know if it just doesn't fit well on this team. Whenever I drafted it, we came up with the idea of, Volcarona would look good on your team because you could really use a special setup sweeper. That would look, great on your team. And the one game I brought it, that's what he did. He was able to clean up by setting up quiver dances and just winning. And that was really, really nice. But it just, I don't know. It's just been one of those Pokemon that it's just, I wanted to use it. And maybe just on this particular team, it just doesn't work. Maybe I'll have to draft it again another time, maybe. Moving on. Next up is Togekiss. Togekiss is 6-1. It's been to 5 games. I feel like Togekiss has been fantastic. I really like using it in draft. I've never used a Togekiss in any fashion before. I think I flirted with using a Togekiss in VGC back when, the Super Luck Scope Lens set was, everywhere in VGC, early in Sword and Shield. But one second, take a drink real quick. But Togekiss has been really good. I've brought it offensively with Nasty Plot. I've brought Defog. I brought just a bulky, annoying set. I don't know if we've gotten a single flinch this season yet, though, with it, which is kind of funny. That's one of the reasons you take Togekiss, is its ability to potentially crit flint, air slash flinch its way to a win. But it is what it is. We still really, we've still loved using the Pokemon, and I'm really, really enjoying it. It's definitely one of the highlights of the team. Obviously, it's my 3rd highest kill getter so far, and it's my second highest in KD. So, moving on is Vaporeon, another Pokemon. Its stat line is really misleading to how much work it's actually put in. It's 0-3. But we're not using it as a mon to get kills, obviously. Vaporeon has been half of the defensive backbone of my team. Being able to pass wishes, keep other mons healthy, get slow flip turns off to pivot myself into my offensive threats like Lopunny, like Heatran, like Togekiss, and keep my other walls healthy, like keep Sarina healthy, keep Druddigon or Palisand healthy potentially, keep itself healthy. Sorry. So that stat line is really misleading for the amount of work that it's put in. It's put in an unreal good amount of work, and I've loved this Pokemon. I really have. I've loved using Vaporeon. Flip Turn was such a huge get for it. Being able to do a little bit of chip damage on your way out. So maybe that puts it in range of me going out to Mega Lopunny, and it puts that in range of a close combat or an Ice Punch or Play Rough or something. And it's been really, really good. Next up is Galvantula. It's 4-3. I brought it to 4 games. Early in the season, I was really, really bummed out about how I wasn't able to use Galvantula well. Especially considering this is the only Pokemon on this team that I've used before in any capacity. I've used it in draft before, and I love it. Electric Bug is a unique typing. It's a really unique offensive typing, and Bug really helps. It covers the Electric's one weakness, which is ground, and Electric covers the one of Bug's weaknesses, which is flying. So you've only got, so it's a really good, defensive coverage too if you really want to switch in on super effective hits. Unfortunately, Galvantula is not bulky at all, but it's got a really good speed tier. Unfortunately, earlier, like I said earlier, we didn't use it very well. We kept using it just to set webs and then not clicking webs. But we were able to use it a couple weeks ago against Pardus really well, and Galvantula was able to clean up. And then we used it pretty well against Midi as well. Just want to take another drink real quick. So now that we are starting to use Galvantula better, its role on the team is being shown, which is really, really nice. And next up is Sarina. And Sarina has quickly become one of my favorite Pokemon to use in draft. I absolutely love this Pokemon. You can see it's 7 kills and 4 deaths. It is my second highest kill getter, and it has been, with Vaporeon, the backbone of my defense. Sarina has been so fantastic at just letting me switch it in, eat hits, and get good damage off. It's the only one on my team that gets knockoff, so I haven't really felt like I could fit Rapid Spin on a lot of sets because I do value knockoff in a lot of situations. Trop Kick is such a good move to, weaken a, maybe a physical sweeper, or even just a mom that, you want to just weaken a little bit. You could switch it in on a little bit better. Being able to get slow U-turns off is really, really nice, and this Pokemon has been fantastic. I could literally talk about how great Sarina is all day. I love this Pokemon. It is one of my favorite draft Pokemon now. In 6 weeks, I've loved using it that much. Next up is Druddigon. It's 1-2. I've only brought it to 2 games. I was really, really bummed out that the first game I brought it got confused and hit itself in confusion turn 1, so it wasn't able to kind of do its thing. But the second time I brought it against Pardus, it was able to do fantastically. I like this Pokemon, and I really want to use it more. I really would love to find a matchup where using its Sheer Force set, so bringing an offensive Druddigon would be really cool, because Sheer Force is such a good ability. Yeah, I'd love to bring a Sheer Force Life Orb set with this Pokemon, because it does get pretty good coverage, and it does have a pretty good attack stat. So I'd love to be able to take advantage of that, potentially. But, overall, I've been happy with it. Being able to get like Glare is such a good move. Being able to paralyze, ground types is such a great thing to be able to do. And Rough Skin's a really good ability to get chipped down on maybe physical threats that you don't really deal with that well. But Druddigon's cool. I like it. And moving on, we have Palisand, another Pokemon that I haven't brought it that much. That, again, the first time I brought it against Mario. I essentially used it as a sack. which kind of sucks. But the second time I brought it against Midi, and it did really, really well. Just coming in, it came in and cleaned the game up late, but it also was able to lift some hits against Midi and really help it put me in a better position late against some Mons. And really, really cool Pokemon. Ghost and Ground is a really cool, really unique typing. It has a lot of potential. And let's not forget, it's got one of the best shinies in the game. So that's always a bonus. If you're a Pokemon that has a really cool shiny, that's always a bonus. Next up, we have Garbodor. I can't really say anything about Garbodor. I want to bring it. I hate having a Pokemon on your team that you don't bring. I feel like it's just a waste of it's just a waste of points. So I want to bring it. There's been a few times where I've looked at my opponent's team and thought, man, Toxic Spikes would be pretty cool. But then the same thing I said about Heatran is also true for Garbodor. We've played a lot of really strong ground types, and that's not really good for a lackluster poison type. So if you're playing a lot of really strong ground types, a poison type doesn't really have the best matchup. So hopefully we get the opportunity to bring it. I really want to, and later in the season, if we've already clinched playoffs and I feel like it has just a halfway decent matchup, I'll probably bring it just so I can say I brought it. But like I said, there have been a couple times that I've thought Toxic Spike looked good, and so we'll see if I get around to using it. I'd like to, but we'll see. And then last but certainly not least is Meowstick. It's 0-1, but it's been brought twice. I haven't brought it in a while, but Meowstick put in really good work for me, actually, the first 2 weeks I brought it. Obviously no kills, but that's not why I drafted Meowstick. I drafted Meowstick because I thought, a way to use like Prankster Screens, Prankster Thunderwave, Prankster Will-O-Wisp, things like that would be really, really nice. I didn't have a Psychic type, so it gives me a Psychic resist, it gives me a Fighting resist, which, if you looked at my early draft and my draft analysis video, I had a lot of fighting weaknesses. So, another fighting resist was nice, but like I said, Meowstick wasn't a Pokemon that I drafted to get kills. It's a Pokemon I drafted to set screens, maybe get a Thunder Wave or something like that off. And it was able to do that, in week 1, I was able to stop a Starmie Rapid Spin from trying to kind of pull a game back by getting a Thunder Wave off on it. Week 2 against the Rochester Raboot, we were able to get a really big Thunder Wave off on Buzzwole that would ensure that our offensive Togekiss could potentially sweep late. And so it was able to get some a couple Reflects up to stop Mega Mawile, which could have been huge. But overall, if I had to look at the team and I had to pick an MVP, I would definitely say Sarina is the MVP so far. As far as you look at, it's got 7, so it's second on the team in kills, and I'm using it defensively almost every week. So it's able to, soak up hit after hit after hit, but it's still gotten me 7 kills. It's still my second highest kill leader. And like I said, whenever I talked about it, I could talk about Sarina forever and not be done just gushing over how much I've loved this Pokemon and loved using it. Like I've said before, it and Vaporeon have proven to be so good together as a so hard to break defensive core between the two of them, and they support each other really well. They can just get slow flip turn U-turn to each other. Vaporeon can keep Sarina healthy. It's been fantastic. I mean, yeah, if you're just looking at the stats, Megalopody's the MVP, but if you're looking at the amount of work on as far as offensively, defensively, and supportive, being able to get those slow U-turns off and get myself into a better situation, Sarina's been able to do it all. And Sarina has been the MVP of this team. If I'm looking at Mons, like things about this team that I'm not real crazy about, obviously I'm not crazy that the Mon I brought, I kind of built the team around Heatran. only coming to 3 games, only having 3 kills. That's kind of a bummer. But again, like I said, we've played a lot of really strong ground types, and whenever you have a quad weakness to ground with a Pokemon, it's kind of hard to bring it as much whenever you're playing those really strong ground types. And I feel like whenever I've brought Heatran, it's done what I've wanted it to do. You know, against Mario, it had a really good showing. You know, we brought a really cool spec set, and it was able to do work. It was able to, you know, get a couple kills and, you know, really weaken some things down. Volcarona is another Pokemon that I'm like, yeah, I understand why I took it. Excuse me. I understand why I took it. I understand taking it when I did and why I did. But again, I am considering dropping it because it kind of seems like wasted 180 points if you know, it's a tier 1 and, you know, I brought once in 6 weeks. You know, so would my team really better with it than without it? So we'll see. But that's overall, that's the team. That's my impressions with the team halfway through the season. We're 5-1. Things are looking really good for us. Our first goal was to get a 500 record. Our second goal is to make playoffs. We're 1 win away from that. The first goal, which is a 500 record, and hopefully we are 2 or 3 wins away from that second goal, which is clinching playoffs. So we'll see how that goes. We've still got a lot of games. We still got a lot of tough games to play. Like I think we play. We still have to play Big Shane. We still have to play ASDF. Those are 2 of the other better records in the conference. And then we still have to play 3 games in our division. You know, in our division, you know, I know we went 2-1 the last time when we had to play our division foes, but those teams are all tough. You know, there's a reason that we had to prep. We had to play really, really well to play, you know, to get those wins. So hopefully we're able to keep this strong season going. If I make any moves, I'm not going to talk about what moves that I'm thinking about making, what I'm thinking about dropping Volcarona and adding, what I'm considering doing, because I don't want to give anything away, essentially. But that's going to do it for us. I'm going to have a link to all the other creators down below. I'll link to the Discord down below. So if you aren't from there and you want to come in and hang out, check it out. It's a really chill server, really cool place to hang out, really cool people. But until next time, I will see you guys later. Have a good one.